Good morning, 5th grade. This is Miss J. Today is Tuesday, April 7th, and we're going to go get into some math review. So for our first problem today, we're going to place the following point on the number line below. Now remember, you should have already completed this and you should have scratch paper and a pencil in front of you. Or you should also have this open in another tab. So when we're placing numbers on a number line, we're going to be thinking about which makes the most sense. So to start, I see that we have 5/10 as a decimal. Now we know that 5/10 is equivalent to half. So I'm going to find my half mark and implement that first. So from there, I'll be able to place all my decimals on the number line. I know that 36/10 is less than a half. So I know that that's going to be somewhere in the beginning of my number line. I also know that 8/100 is even smaller than 36/100. And I know that that is going to be close to 0. So I'm going to place that close to 0. I also have 75/100. And I know that that's going to be placed after my halfway mark. So I know that this is 5/10, so I can assume that this is 6/10 and this is 7/10. So I know that it's going to be between 7 and 8/10. So lastly, I have my 1 mark. So I know that 1 and 7/100 is going to be after 1. Next, mark on the number line the following decimals: 55/100, 8/100, 27/100, and 8/10. So all my decimals on my number line are by tenths already. So I know that my hash marks in between are going to be by tenths. So I'm going to start with my number that's closest to 0, 8/100. So I know that that is less than 1. I can count from 9/100, 8/100. So I'm going to place that here. So that will be placed here. I also have 27/100. So I'm going to go to 2/10 and count my hash marks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that is going to be placed there. So I have 55/100. Again, I'm going to start at 5/10 and then count my hash marks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. last but not least, 8/10. And I noticed that I already have 8/10 on my number line. So I can mark it right there, and that's where I'm going to place all my decimals on the number line. Now, which point best describes the location of 4/10 on the number line? So again, using my knowledge of fractions and decimals, I can best point to where 4/10 would belong on the number line. So I already have 1/2 on my number line. So I know that 4/10 is close to 5/10, right? Which is a half. Now, would 4/10 be closer to 0 or would it be closer to 5/10? It would be closer to 5/10. So I know here that my answer is going to be B, M. M would be the point that best describes 4/10. Now we're going to convert each FGTO fraction greater than 1 to a mixed number. Here's a little bit of review in case you need it for a reference. Now make sure that you're stopping in between each problem to go and check your work. Before we get into that, today's secret code for math review is puppies. Lowercase PUPPIES. Again, the secret code today for math review is puppies. So I have 4/5. 4/5 as a mixed number is going to be 2 and 4/5. There are all the equivalent fractions and FGTOs into mixed numbers. Go ahead and check your work. We also have some fact power here. You can go ahead and check that also. Make sure you're pausing the video if needed. Here we're going to fill in the area model below using the numbers below. So we know that 30 times 20 is 600. So in this box here, going to have 6 times 30, which equals 180. Two, 20 times 2 equals 40. That works also. Then we have 6 times 2, which equals 12. Now, if we add that up all together, and we plug it into our number sentence, which is 26 times 32. Our answer would be 832. That's a little bit messy, but we have our answer here. The data below shows the hours of sleep that the 3rd and 4th grade teachers got last night. Create a line plot that represents this data. So we have hours slept last night. We have the name of the teachers and the time that they slept in hours. Miss Washburn slept 9 and 1/4 hours. Miss Deck slept 7 and 1/4 hours. So the most important thing with creating a line plot is labeling our axis. So we have our title, which is hours slept last night. And we're going to label our fractions in hours times slept hours so that whoever's looking at our data knows that it's in hours. So that whoever is looking at our data understands that our fractions are in hours. So you can see my picture got cut off a little bit here, but that's okay. It filled it right back in. So we can see that our line plot is in quarters. We can see that our line plot is in fourths. Then I'm going to add in the teachers. So my X's represent my teachers and how many hours that they slept. So go ahead and check your work, and this is what our line plot would look like. Lastly, you're going to write the number below in words. We have 871 and 712 thousands. This is what it should look like in written form. Then we have 78 and 541 thousandths. And lastly, 87 and 172 thousand. So now you're going to pause and you're going to head over to Google Classrooms and complete the following questions and turn it in for your math grade. Have a great day, everyone.